There was a time I couldn't even tie my shoes without losing my breath. At 130 kilograms, I wasn't just heavy, I was stuck. Stuck in a cycle of bad food, no movement, and zero self-belief. People said I was lazy, undisciplined, maybe even hopeless. But they didn't see what it felt like inside. The guilt, the frustration, the fear that I'd never change. One morning, standing in front of the mirror, I whispered, "If I keep living like this, where will I be in 5 years?" That question hit harder than any workout ever could. Part 1. Realization. We often think change starts with motivation, but it doesn't. It starts with honesty. When you finally say, "I'm not okay, I need to do something," that's the moment transformation begins. Science says our brains resist change because comfort feels safe, even when that comfort is killing us slowly. But there comes a point when the pain of staying the same becomes worse than the pain of change. That's when you move. And that's where my story truly began. Part 2. The first step. My first workout wasn't fancy. No gym, no coach, just me, my shoes, and 15 minutes of walking. 15 minutes felt like a marathon, but I did it again the next day, and again. Soon, something changed. Not in my body yet, but in my mind. Every walk released a small spark of energy, a bit of confidence. That's how habit starts. Through small wins. Not by changing everything overnight, but by showing up when no one expects you to. I wasn't chasing perfection anymore, I was chasing progress. Part 3. The power of support. Then something unexpected happened. A friend of mine, who knew what I was going through, reached out one day. He said, "Come join us. We have a small group. We train once a week and learn about food together. You'll like it." At first, I hesitated. I thought, I'll just slow them down. But that decision, to say yes, changed everything. That group became my second family. We weren't athletes or experts. We were just people trying to get better. We shared recipes, mistakes, and motivation. We learned what real food means. Not starvation, but balance. Protein, fiber, hydration, sleep. We started treating our bodies like they mattered. And most importantly, we trained together. We pushed each other when one felt weak. We laughed when things got hard, and we celebrated every tiny win. I still remember our first 10K run as a group. None of us was sure we could finish, but we ran step by step, encouraging each other. And when we crossed that finish line together, it wasn't just a run, it was a victory over our doubts. That day, I learned something priceless. You will always be stronger together than alone, especially at the start. When your motivation is fragile and your habits are new, having people around you who believe in you can change everything. Because some days, I didn't show up for myself. I showed up because I didn't want to fail my friends. And sometimes, that's enough. Part 4. Breaking limits. With their support, I grew stronger, physically and mentally. What once felt impossible became my new normal. There came a day I decided to push my limit again. I signed up for a half marathon. People laughed. They said, "You? Run 21 kilometers?" But what they didn't know was that I had already done the hardest part. I had started believing. Training wasn't easy. Blisters, cramps, pain, they all came. But every time I felt like quitting, I remembered my group. I remembered the people who had my back when I had nothing left. Part 5. Science behind the change. As I got deeper into the process, I realized fitness is not punishment, it's science. Your body is like a machine. It doesn't respond to emotion, it responds to consistency. I learned about calories, protein, and recovery. How sleep affects hormones like cortisol and testosterone. How hydration fuels endurance, and how skipping meals or extreme diets destroy long-term results. The goal wasn't to look good, it was to feel alive, to wake up with energy, not exhaustion, to eat food that nourishes, not numbs. And with every right choice, I felt more connected to myself. Part 6. The mountain and the mind. Now I'm training for something I once thought impossible. A 47-kilometer ultra in the mountains. Not for fame, not for medals, but because I want to see how far I can go. When you run that long, your body breaks first, then your mind breaks. But if you keep going, your spirit takes control. And when that happens, you stop running with your legs, you run with your heart. That's when you realize the goal isn't to be the best, it's to become the version of yourself you once dreamed of being. Part 7. The message. If you're watching this and you feel like giving up, please remember this. You don't have to do it alone. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to start. Find people who believe in you. Even one friend can change everything, because when you fall, they'll lift you. When you lose faith, they'll remind you why you started. In fitness, in life, we are stronger together. So don't chase perfection. Chase consistency. Don't wait for motivation, build discipline. And don't measure progress by your reflection. Measure it by how far you've come and who walked beside you on the way. I was 130 kilograms once. Now, I'm still on my journey. But every time I run, every time I breathe that mountain air, I whisper to myself, you didn't come this far to only come this far. This isn't just my story. It's proof that when you decide to rise, and when you have people beside you, you can change everything. The hardest battle is against yourself, but you don't have to fight it alone.